Okay, if I could call to order the April 2025 Economic Development Commission meeting for Village of Villa Park. If I can, do I need to do a motion to,
You can do roll.
a roll call
Yep.
vote?
No, roll
Roll
call.
call. So do we?
Who's
not-
here? Yeah.
Okay, so Commissioner Odo here, Commissioner Gada Fahmy, Commissioner Larry Calvert.
Here.
Patrice Gallagher, J.P. Hotchbaum,
Yep, here.
Ethan Tudor-Leon, and John Drogos.
Here.
Here, okay, that's enough for a quorum. Call this meeting to order. If everybody has a chance to look at the minutes from the March meeting, if I can get a motion to approve.
Motion to approve.
And a
Seconded.
Second, all in favor, aye?
Aye.
Aye. Public comments. I just noticed we have Leslie Elson, CI. Did you have anything that you wanted to say, or just?
I'm here because Patrice said that she couldn't be here today.
Oh, okay.
This is the
Wonderful.
proxy.
Okay,
Right.
excellent.
She
Okay.
didn't want to miss anything.
Yeah.
Okay. So no public comments at this time. We move on to new business. That is the review of draft the TIF annual reports for fiscal year 2023.
Cool. Thank you. So as a new practice, which we started last year, once the annual TIF reports have been either completed or in final draft form, I brought them forward to the EDC to give you guys an update of where those districts are financially. So I have the 4 TIF districts ready to roll. We're just waiting for the last letter from the attorney before we send them over to the comptroller. I figured we might as well get it in your hands now instead of just waiting.
Okay.
Just on a minor thing. So I'm going to go through them in numerical order, starting with 3. Real quick overview. If you have any questions, stop me, ask me questions while we're going through. But this is the actual report that's going to eventually go to the comptroller. So it starts, as you can see, we're talking about TIF 3, North Avenue. This TIF started in 2006. And then we get into the required documents. These are all going to be the same. Each one, that is a required document. And then, do you have any expenditures? Yes. Are they over 100,000? Yes. Cumulative. Have you paid taxes that are equal to 100,000 or special assessments that are over 100,000? Yes. So every time there's a X here, there's an attachment on the back. Just for a quick overview on that. So the main report is obviously financial. It's where are we at. So the report always starts with where was the fund balance last year, what did you do this year, and then where is it at the end of this reporting period. So for TIF 3, at the beginning of the fund balance, there was $2.5 million sitting in the account. It took in $900,000 in property tax increment. So that's that line item on the tax bill for TIF 3. And you add all the properties up together, it took in $900,000. Over the life of the TIF, that's this category, it's taken in $17 million. And as you can see, then the only expenditures that happened out of the last fiscal year was just $13,000. Very light. We didn't actually do anything. We were trying to acquire some property. We were unable to accomplish that before the financial year ended. So then, the big chunk that we were planning on, the $2 million, it didn't happen. So, very, very light year for stuff.
This is fiscal year 23.
Fiscal year 23. That is correct.
Okay.
Yes, fiscal year 23. So, when you take in 900,000, you spend 13,000. That's 886 to the net. So you add your balance to that, and you have a fund balance of $3.4 million at the end of fiscal year 23. So TIF 3 is very healthy, which also means we need to spend some money in TIF 3.
Yeah.
That is the strategy.
It
Is the North
expires.
Avenue one? Is the North Avenue one?
This is North Avenue. Yep.
Expires in 39.
It's at the I think it's 37. It's at the last page, and we'll get you there. It's one of the things I checked the report. Yeah. So a healthy fund balance. But we don't want healthy fund balances in TIFs. That's what I said last
Right.
time, is we
Use it.
actually want to spend that money to incentivize to keep going. So the strategy for this, and this outlines, sorry, the next page outlines the actual expenditures. It was all legal fees. So what did we spend? Blah, blah, blah. These are all blank because we didn't do anything. Here we go. So then this tells us, what are you going to do? So we, for the next year, budgeted $2 million in land acquisition, $500,000 in demolition, $500,000 in right-of-way improvements, and $500,000 in parking improvements. So these are the goals to actually spend that fund balance down to keep that TIF going, to create that incentive to, have it a viable and very lucrative TIF. So that shows that, we've got a huge fund balance. We actually are projecting a deficit of $94,500 if we can accomplish all of this in fiscal year 24. So
And is the apartments along North Avenue on the south side, they're talking about doing parking reconfiguration?
apartments?
Well,
On
I'm
the
sorry, the
south side?
townhomes?
Oh, yes, yes.
West of-
Are they in the TIF
The-
district?
The North Avenue townhomes are in the TIF district, and that reconfiguration of parking is budgeted out of TIF to fix that. Yep, that is correct. Yep.
And is there gonna be any expenditures for, is Belt, the old Strats and Bell Tire,
Mm-hmm.
is there gonna be any expenditures?
There is not.
No?
They
Okay.
have not asked, or do they need any TIF funding? So that is purely private equity. Yep.
Do you guys know what you're acquiring already for land?
So there are a couple sites that we are eyeing,
Mhm.
but we do not have anything under contract yet.
Okay.
So, again, it's that strategy which we've been talking about for a little while, trying to get to that 3-acre size.
Mm-hmm.
Parcel.
Exactly. So that's a couple of them, right? You got to
Yeah.
combine them all together to get to 3 acres. So it's that strategy.
Okay. So, and it's trying to fit in with a comprehensive plan to create those, I forget what they're called.
Yeah, but you are correct.
Yeah,
Yes,
okay.
that's exactly right. Yep.
Okay.
Yep. More blank. And then there is a running total of all the investments that has happened in the TIF. So this is from annual report to the next annual report to the next one, so it keeps on running. So there is a private investment that happened, Wildfire Harley, private money about $1.5 million, public money just under $3 million. That was the first project in the TIF district, and then there were a couple others after that. Pet Supply Plus was a $3 million in private and just under $1 million in public monies. So you'll see this if you went back to the second annual report, you'd only see this one. So this is a running total, so that if you look at the last annual report of the TIF, you can actually see the entire history of what happened. And so right now we're in the middle of it, so there's only a couple of these lines used. So the flood control was spent on the last one at 73 million. Or sorry, 73,000. Sorry. More blank. And where is that? I'm looking for the one for you, and the date expires. Your designation. I don't know. I thought it was on here. I apologize. So
That's it.
2037 though. So 2037, right? 23 years.
29.
29. Make sure in TIF calculation there's a bonus year plus 23, 29, 2030.
2030.
2030.
So
2037.
fairly
the other one.
soon. I mean,
Yeah.
Yeah, which is why the strategy is to do land acquisition. Because once you acquire it through TIF dollars, then you can continue that incentive even when the TIF is closed, because that property is already owned and controlled.
Okay. Makes sense.
Yeah. Yep, and then so this last page is just the basics, the base EAV at that time, 37 million, and today's reporting fiscal, 51 million. So it is doing what it's supposed to be doing. We still have a surplus.
we just
Let's
need to
keep
spend
rocking
some.
and rolling. Yeah,
Yeah,
this
right.
one is good. It's doing what it's supposed to do. We like TIF 3. Let's just really hit it home here in the end years. TIF 4. This, remember, reporting for fiscal year 23 TIF 4 currently right now doesn't exist because it got closed with the creation of TIF 7. But because we're back, we have to report on it even though it's not closed, right? This one was opened in 2009 and same thing, and then here we go. In fiscal year 23, it had a negative balance starting out just
96.
under, 96, just under 100 grand. It took in 36. It only had taken in 238,000. Again, it wasn't that great, which is kind of one of the reasons we closed it. So then your net 113. We had some expenditures of 113. So then your net was 76,000. Add it all up, it was still sitting at a negative fund balance of $172,000 in fiscal year 23. Yep.
So was that MCC, or what were, I mean, we'll get to that, what were the,
Yeah, MCC is in this one. Yep. So there were some property tax payments for the old dog grooming and Cherokee Rose building. So because they were tenants in there, we had to still pay property taxes on it because they were income producing. They weren't purely tax exempt. Some of the TIF notification, the early TIF 7 procedure was paid out of TIF 4 because they were overlapping. There is the buyout of those
Property,
leases.
yeah.
Yep, that was all TIF eligible. That came out of there. That was 52,000. So that's what was going on. Money was being spent to basically close it out. How do we clear the books of this thing? And so that was what's happening in fiscal year 23. As you can see right here, legal description.
So if it's closed now, what happens with that money
that
that?
negative?
Yeah, so in fiscal year 24, you'll see that it gets zeroed out.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah, because you can't end on a negative. You have to make it whole.
Yeah.
And so TIF 5, which was adjacent, actually supported TIF 4 to get back to zero.
Oh, okay. I
Yeah,
see.
so you can port
Okay.
between adjacent TIFs. And TIF 5, as you'll see, had some extra cash. We ported it to there to get the zero to close the books.
Do they have to have some kind of continuity with
They do.
the border? Okay.
They do. They have to be adjacent.
Okay.
Yes. Yeah. You can only do it when they touch one another.
Yeah.
So that's how we close that out. Not reported in this year. That'll be reported in the next year.
Okay.
Can you take, if there's TIFs, if there's multiple TIFs adjacent to a negative one, can you take from multiple TIFs?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep.
Can be
So
supported by multiple.
as long as the negative one touches all those other ones, you can't, go from here to here. You actually have to.
Do you have to split it up? Like if I want to take from 2 or so, you don't have to.
It doesn't have to be
equal.
even. Nope.
Okay.
Nope. Not at all.
Learning all the time.
Yeah. The TIF rules are interesting. Yep. So at that time, the budget was to continue to do facade improvements at 150,000. We know that didn't come to fruition, but that was part of the plan. There was no property acquisitions, and then here you go. AK mulch, public investment, 1.5 million. Some street improvements at 101,000. So those are your big physical capital improvements that happened in that district.
And that's the AK Mulch property at
Yeah.
Villa Avenue, not the current
Correct.
location.
At Villa Avenue. Yep. That was a land acquisition for that. Yep. And then the base EAV 2.8, and at that time 3.4. So a couple $100,000 more. So underperforming. We already know the story of what happens here. TIF 5, that is the Kenilworth TIF. This TIF did get amended when the TIF 7 was created, but it is still in existence. It just got cut in about half. So this was a 2014 creation start date. This one was sitting at end of fiscal year 22 at just about 160,000. It took in 300,000, so that's good numbers, right? It spent just about 175. So fund balance at the end about $300,000 fund balance, which is not that all far off from what it actually took in. So, yeah, this one's still good. We like TIF 5.
And stuff.
Kenilworth Townhomes, they got the RDA, so they are getting a part of their increment back every year to help that helps fund that project. There you go. Kenilworth Townhomes RDA payment. Each year there was a double payment this year. Each year is about 70,000 because as those properties increase, they pay more taxes, and then the increase. They're capped at 800,000 total kickback. I don't know where they're at in that. Do you remember where they were? I know. He sent us an email mid-year. We're like, it's not time yet. just wait. You'll get your check in October. So yeah. So this year, in fiscal year 23, $145,000 were spent on this TIF. And there's the big projects that we just talked about. And there you go. Public-private investment. Let's see here, about 4.7 million total in it for private and about 2.1 million on public since its inception. So, yeah, Cortese, street improvements, the depot rental, those were all TIF eligible expenses.
Part of the question was, he was saying this first 100,000 was just a gift, so it's these three, so
About
250.
About 250. So yeah, so far the Kenilworth Townhomes has received about 250,000 out of a max of 800,000. Yeah, facade assistance, so 100 grand on facade that year. That's pretty solid. Streetscaping. You get the Myrtle stormwater separation. They've been doing a lot of it.
What's the 4 million, what was the 4 and the 2, what?
That
was
is
it
the
tied to?
total, year to date.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
For
so
the
all
total.
of these,
Okay.
projects 1
Got
through
it.
whatever,
Okay.
this is the roll up.
Got it.
Yep. Yeah. Facade, wayfinding signage, geotechnical and feasibility, all those engineering studies, all those are TIF eligible expenses. Yeah, and then that's the end of that list. Let me get to the last page. So here we go. 2014, 4.6 base EAV, 8.8 at this fiscal year. We're getting the double there, so good stuff. TIF 5 is good. And then TIF 6. North Ardmore, Metra, whatever you want to call it. Yep. Translation TIF. Again, another 2014 start. Right around the TIF 5 time. All right. Cash balance at the end of fiscal year 22, 520,000. Took in 70,000. There were some expenditures here, about 12.5. So net is 90,000. So end of fiscal year 23, it was sitting on $610,000.
Probably not enough to buy that,
Not enough to buy that property.
Garden station.
No, it is not. No, it is not. I mean, I could offer them this.
Yeah.
It's not going to go well. No, sadly, no. And it's not really producing much. 70,000, like that's
70,000, right.
that's not a lot, right?
yeah.
So there are no adjacent TIFs to 6. It is by itself, so there's no port ability. It has to stand alone.
Could that be used for the actual metro station? Because I know the board was talking about a coffee shop in there.
It
Like-
could, because there are TIF eligible expenses, but they are limited on what you can and cannot spend. I can't pay for a build out, but I can pay for land acquisition or demolition, or if there's asbestos in there, remediation. Like I can do those kind of things, but I
Okay.
can't just pay a guy to build the building.
Yeah.
Yeah. But we can do the parking lot, we can do the landscaping, like we can make it nice, all that kind of stuff we can spend money on, yeah.
Okay.
Yep.
Who owns all that area?
Which area?
I guess the train station and the surrounding parking
Metro
lots.
owns
Is it all
Yeah.
Metro?
Station and-
Metro owns it, and then we've got
Garden
the ability
station
to
owns it.
lease. And then, yeah, the garden station owner still owns the block.
It's in foreclosure.
Right.
That is
right,
true.
Right.
It is in foreclosure. 610. Yeah. Legal fees. We all can guess what those are for. What else? Not a lot So we budgeted at the time for $450,000 in bond payment. Never came to fruition because there's not a building there. And then $250,000 on additional property acquisition. Never came because we were still fighting the other thing. This was still when we were hoping, right? So.
23 still.
Oh.
They got nice new fencing now. That's not falling apart. So
Yeah. Yeah. So yeah, what do we do here? Streetscape. So the Ardmore streetscape that you guys see, that was paid out of TIF dollars with those lights and the bench and all that kind of stuff. Yep.
Signage.
Yep. And then there was, here you go, commuter lot and station repairs. Yeah.
Okay.
So yeah,
Here.
100 grand. So, yep. And 1.8 in base, and then fiscal year 3. So it's jumped a mil. That's not bad. In fiscal year 24, we'll see if this number goes down though. So, but yeah, that is in summary the 4 TIF reports that have to be reported on, and for fiscal year 23, which we're submitting to the comptroller, hopefully by the end of this week. We're still waiting for that last letter, but yeah, any questions at all on this or just in TIFs in general? You know, we're here.
I think we've gone over TIFs quite a bit.
Yeah,
lately.
you guys are up to speed. That is for sure. That is for sure. So yeah, that's all I have then, Chair.
Okay. That moves us right along then to commissioner comments. JP, start with you.
Yeah, question about the Garden Station with the bank there. Can we contact them and try to find developers for?
We've already been doing that.
You've been doing it. Awesome.
Absolutely. I
You guys are
have
on
an open line of communication with the note holder.
Okay. Cool. And speaking of that proactiveness, I was thinking that us as a commission, we could try to do the same thing with other like vacant lots, places that we want to fill up with businesses. If we could like have each commissioner like assigned a lot that we proactively try to find a business to go there or something like that. Just a random idea that I thought we could do, because I know like the board, the trustees probably don't have time to do stuff like that, but I think it would fall under like our, development to actually reach out to business owners that we could put like we were doing with like lettuce,
No, for sure.
stuff like
Do
that.
you have? I guess I would start with what lots do you think are ripe and ready to go?
That's the thing. I think you have that info, right? Or like lots that like vacant lots or places that are for rent or for sale.
So I could do vacant. I could
Okay.
absolutely get that. No problem at all.
Mhm.
The for rent or for sale is a little trickier.
Okay.
We don't maintain and manage that. That is just on the open, the brokers and
Yeah.
MLS and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
We attempted to try and manage it,
Mhm.
and there's just too many moving parts to stay on top of it.
Okay.
The data got outdated, and then we were on the village's website. We were showing that spaces were available that were not available. So
Right.
we just
Okay.
got
Yeah.
we got out of that business.
Okay.
Yeah, yeah. There's people that have licenses that are issued by the state of Illinois to be real estate agents.
Mm-hmm.
They should handle that.
Yeah. That makes sense.
But vacant property, yeah, we can figure that out. That'd be fine. But the leasable space, yeah, is a little different.
Okay.
But yeah, if that's something you want to look into, you tell me what you guys want to do.
I think we can, talk about it at future meetings. So
Sure.
like have a list and see if
Put
it's
that in
actually
a future
worthwhile
Yeah.
to actually do that.
Mm-hmm.
That we have more control of what goes in spaces. And, 'cause I think you guys had, I missed one of the meetings where it kind of talked about how much money we make off certain type of businesses.
Mhm.
So try to get more businesses that are
Mhm.
better tax revenue generating
Right.
businesses,
Right.
stuff like that.
Yep.
Push for those.
Sales tax generators.
Yeah.
Yes, please.
Anything else?
That was
JP?
it for me. Yeah.
Okay. John?
one question I had is because when I talk to people, I think it would show my legitimacy if I had like business cards. So I don't know if you have like a template
Oh, okay.
or anything like that. I mean,
Yeah.
I'm paying for them, but
Yeah.
I just need to.
No, yeah. Let me see what the protocol is for commissioner cards. I
Right.
honestly don't know,
Right.
so I'll check it out. Oh, another commissioner of a different group. Yes. Can you lend some insight, please?
I certainly can. You get a letter from the village clerk, which states that you are on a certain commission. And then you take that letter across the street to the police office, police department, and they will take your photo and issue you an actual card.
Okay.
You're talking about the badge.
Yes.
The badge.
Mhm.
Got it.
Okay.
Yeah, I
Got
was
it.
gonna say, in the
Which is
past,
that
I
one?
know we've,
Yeah, I
I
have one.
also
Yep.
have
One of them.
badge, and one that just has my name
You
that
did
says,
get
I think I have
one
one.
with a
Mhm.
magnet,
Yeah.
but
Mhm.
Well, the
There's-
only
used
thing
to
that we
have
did was just, we
Good
budgeted
cards.
in.
Yeah,
Yeah,
we
we
were
did
budget
have
given one like a
and
year
laid
ago, I
out
remember.
business cards.
Gotcha.
Oh,
Yeah, that's what I
plastic
was
ones
kind
I'm
of thinking,
talking
because
about.
they're pretty cheap to
No.
make.
no, Larry
No.
had an actual business
We had
card, cause,
business
yeah,
cards.
Oh,
but
okay.
you
Okay.
can also get
Mhm.
one of those.
And they
but
were printed in.
I guess I
Right.
need a new one.
Time, time
we-
for a new
It's not
one.
So the badge is one thing. And I think were you asking about like true business
True
cards?
business card, yeah.
I will double check and see how long ago that was that you had those. But we have
it's been a while.
actually we have a new template for
10
business
years.
cards actually.
Mhm.
I was actually working on it today,
Right.
so that's kind of hilarious.
Yeah,
I
I just sensed it.
like 10 minutes before I walked in this room.
Because like one thing I was
Yeah.
thinking is we could put like a QR code on the back of it that could take businesses to like tip information.
the EDC incentive page and all that kind of stuff.
Stuff like that.
Yep.
You know.
Yes, and you guys do have a budget, and you haven't really spent any of that in the last 2 years. So,
Yeah.
outfitting a commission with
Some
new business cards is not a terrible idea, actually.
No,
Right.
especially if we're
Okay.
gonna be
You're hitting the.
doing.
I mean, if you're gonna try,
More proactive,
if you're gonna be out in
yeah.
the
Yeah.
field
Yeah.
more, it does
Right.
add legitimacy to your
Yeah.
plan.
Yes.
Absolutely.
Right.
Who are you?
Exactly.
John.
Exactly.
Exactly.
Or make them more nervous because we're more affiliated with the village.
I mean, you know what? Use at discretion. Use your discretion. Chair, she does have another question.
I'm sorry, Leslie.
Just another question, or
Yeah.
another comment, on the other commission, we left a line on the business cards so that each commissioner could write in their name
Mhm.
when they were visiting a business or.
Oh, are they fun commission cards? Got it. Okay.
Gotcha.
Gotcha.
Okay. So we can. Yep. Cool. We can work with a
Mhm.
with a design and whatnot.
Yeah.
Cool.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Anything else, John?
That's it.
Okay. Larry?
I don't have anything, no.
Okay. I just wanted to remind everybody, maybe you've already done it, your 2025 Statement of Economic Interest needs to be filed by May 1st. There's any help on there. If not, you can contact me. I can probably help you through it. There's like 10 questions. It takes about 10 minutes.
Yeah.
So just try and get that in. And then I had a question. This is just my personal interest on the TIF was created over on Villa Avenue for the union. Bonds were going to be issued, and then it was going to go to a village meeting, I thought, to activate the bonds.
Yes.
And I thought we were going to do that sometime in like March, maybe, or like they were kind of, and then because once that's done, then everything will start to move
That's
forward.
correct. Yep.
Is there a projected date
Sure.
when that's
Sure.
expected?
So the village board authorized the RDA and the zoning, which gave the development the rights to build. In the RDA was also the promise that the village board will approve the bond ordinance when it is ready to come in front of the village board. So it's like that guarantee that when
Oh,
it's
okay.
ready, it'll come in front of you, right?
Got it. Okay.
We are not going to authorize that bond ordinance until we are 45 days out from closing on the actual bonds.
Okay.
Because the markets change, interest rates are changing every day. Once you do that, you lock in a rate.
Okay.
But it's only good for 60 days. See what I'm saying?
Yeah, so there's a 15-day
Yeah,
gap.
so we're giving ourselves a little bit of wiggle, but we're dialing it in. The lender that they're going with, which I can't tell you, sorry, will not close on the loan until they have permit in hand. So, it'll be a minute before we actually do that bond ordinance because they're gonna do a full building review and have a permit issued, and we're putting that permit in escrow. This is all outlined in the RDA.
Okay.
Put that permit in escrow to show they're good to go, like they are so good to go because we issued a building permit.
Yeah.
Go ahead, now we're gonna do the bond ordinance, close on the bonds, everybody hits the ground running.
And then
day
things
one.
will be
Yep.
moving forward.
Yep. Yep.
Is
This
there-
is one of those insurance policies that we built into the RDA, learning from what other people
Sure.
did in the past.
is there any kind of proposed timeline on that? Like, are we 60 days, 90 days?
They are wrapping up final design and should have a plan set submitted to my office for permit this month.
Okay. And what's the time frame on you guys to go through?
We're a 2-week turnaround period.
Okay.
We will get it back because we are going outside consultant for it because it's
So-
such a huge project. So, yeah,
6 weeks something should be.
yeah, 6 weeks we'll
For sure.
definitely know.
Yeah,
Man,
for
this is gonna be
sure.
real close. I'll get you on the agenda.
Okay. No, that's
this
cool.
time,
All
yeah.
good to know. Just
Mhm.
I had thought for some reason it was back in like March that like I know it was all going to be kind of like boom, boom, boom,
Yes.
and I know things take time. Just
Yeah.
was kind of checking.
Yeah,
on that,
absolutely.
'cause
Yeah, yeah.
It's now mid-April and.
Yeah, no, and just the plat of subdivision is being overnighted to my office for tomorrow. Like
Beautiful.
all the things are happening behind the scenes. It's just there's 400 moving parts.
I don't have anything else at this time. So on to village board liaison comments. No liaison.
Did you want to say anything, or were you?
No.
Okay, making sure. Didn't want to skip
I'm just
over
here
you.
to show face.
Okay.
Sure.
Enjoying himself. Oh, Steph.
Welcome back.
Yeah.
Maybe you were back last month. I don't know. I wasn't
No,
here.
No,
Okay.
Monday
Oh,
was
wow.
our first day
Monday.
back.
So,
Yeah.
welcome back.
Thank you.
Hope everything's been smooth since the last time we saw you. Any
Have a-
comments?
Had little boy almost 3 months now, so been busy at our house.
Wonderful.
Hopefully you're getting some
Congratulations.
sleep.
He's been a good baby.
Good.
Up once in the night, so I can't complain. But it'll be nice when he starts sleeping through the night.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah.
I do not have any additional comments now.
With that, can I get a motion for adjournment?
Motion to adjourn.
Second?
Second it.
Second. All in favor? Aye.
All right.
All right.